Have you ever just looked at something you bought and wondered, why isn't this made here anymore? Well, you're not imagining things. Over the last few decades, the American economy went through this massive reshuffle. So today, we're going to unpack the huge forces that completely changed the game for jobs and industries in the US.
It really sounds like a simple question, right? But the answer? Well, the answer gets to the very heart of our modern economy. It's a story about factories that closed down, whole new industries that just exploded out of nowhere, and how all of it affects pretty much everything we buy and the jobs we do.
And here's the key thing you've got to understand. This wasn't just one singular event. It was more like a perfect storm. Two gigantic waves of change that hit at the exact same time, and they fed into each other, completely reshaping our entire economic world.
So the first catalyst was a flat-out technological revolution. We're talking about an explosion in communication tech that suddenly made our huge world feel incredibly small and, connected.
This digital wave was really powered by three specific innovations. Now, each one was a total game changer on its own, but when you put them together, they built the foundation for a brand new way of doing business all across the globe.
All right, first up, the PC, the personal computer. This basically took computing power out of these giant room-sized mainframes and put it right on the desk of every single worker. It was a massive leap, right? It gave people the power to do really complex stuff right from their office.
And then, of course, the internet came along. It was like the network that connected all of those individual PCs. All of a sudden, distance just disappeared. You had instant communication and access to information from literally anywhere on the planet. And the final piece of this puzzle, the mobile phone. This put all of that incredible power right into our pockets. It completely untethered us, making it possible to talk, coordinate, and run huge projects from just about anywhere. The world was officially always on. Now, this whole tech revolution, it didn't just happen in a vacuum. It was the spark for a second, equally powerful shift, the lightning-fast acceleration of global business and international trade. See, with the world newly connected, businesses could suddenly think way, way bigger. International trade just exploded. Companies started operating across borders like it was nothing, and suddenly, your competition wasn't from down the street. It was from halfway around the globe. And this is where we get the transnational business. This is such a key idea. It's no longer about one factory in one town in one country. Instead, you have to think of it like a single, super complex global assembly line. I mean, just think about the difference. It used to be that a car was an American car, right? Designed, built, and sold pretty much in one country. But now, the phone in your pocket was probably designed in California. It's got chips from Taiwan, a screen from South Korea, and the whole thing was put together in China. It is a truly global product. So, you've got this revolutionary technology crashing into borderless business. What happens when these two forces collide? Well, the impact on the American economy and its workers was just profound. This chart right here tells the story in a single image. As companies realized they could make stuff more cheaply overseas, those traditional factory jobs here in the US started a long, steady decline. And at the exact same time, jobs in the service industry, we're talking retail, healthcare, hospitality, they started to climb, basically filling that gap. So this big shift really created three different realities for American workers. First, a lot of communities saw their factories close, and with them went those good-paying manufacturing jobs. Second, there was a huge boom in service jobs, but a lot of times these came with lower wages. And third, a whole new category of high-skilled, high-paying jobs popped up in IT to, manage this new digital world.
This led to another major consequence, a growing U.S. trade deficit. And put simply, that just means as a country, we started buying a lot more stuff from the rest of the world than we were selling to them. And that started happening on a much, much bigger scale.
Okay, so we've looked at all these different pieces. What's the big picture here? What's the main story you should take away from all this? Let's just put it all together. When you boil it all down, it's a really clear chain of events. First, new technology connected the entire planet. Second, businesses used that connection to build these massive global supply chains. And third, that fundamental change completely transformed the American economy, from one based on making things to one based on providing services and information.
And all of that leaves us with one final thought. We've just seen how powerfully technology and globalization completely rewrote the rules for the last 30 years. So the question for all of us now is, what are the big forces out there, like AI, automation, maybe climate change, that are doing the exact same thing to our world? right now.